The story begins from a scene where the curtains are billowing softly in the breeze, and we see our protagonist on the bed, and it looks like he just woke up. The protagonist opens his eyes, confused and shocked by his surroundings as he finds himself inside the game he used to play, Heroic Legend of Aran. In a few years within this game, many turbulent events are going to take place at the Academy, along with dangerous incidents that never seem to cease. Ultimately, an apocalypse will occur, threatening to destroy the world if it is not stopped. But that doesn't bother our protagonist because he's just an NPC. He got reincarnated as NPC of this game, and the main protagonist of the game will handle everything. Our NPC is just an extra, so he's planning to sit back and relax. Out of excitement, sometime later, our NPC goes out to explore and is pretty impressed by the game's developers. Everything looks so real. Our NPC is excited to see the main player, who is soon going to be rich and very famous. As he was looking around for the starting point, he suddenly spots the MC of this game. His name is Sihu Park. He looks pretty frustrated and is murmuring something about specs and such. After hearing this, our NPC gets confused because there is no item called specs. Soon he realizes that this guy is also trapped in this game. In the next scene, Sihu, still frustrated, declares that from now on he will live his life for himself and his own goals. But suddenly, our NPC grabs Sihu's hand and says, "Me too." Sihu looks really confused. Our NPC assumes that Sihu is also from Earth like him. The only difference between them is that Sihu has a special privilege as the main player, the stat window. Believing that Sihu is a newbie who doesn't know how to play the game, our NPC decides to help him. Because Sihu looks puzzled after seeing the stat window, wondering, what do I do with the attributes? Luckily for him, our NPC is a hardcore gamer who knows this game like the back of his hand. As a dedicated player, he knows every route, has seen every ending, and has mastered everything the story has to offer. Our NPC reassures Sihu, telling him not to worry because he'll help him with everything. Just as he's saying this, a monster suddenly appears from behind the NPC. Both of them quickly get alert, and Sihu activates his magic to stop the monster. Afterwards, Sihu asks the NPC if he's alright, and the NPC replies that he's fine. Unexpectedly, more wolf-like monsters appear in front of them. The NPC gets ready to fight, and as they battle, he reflects. As an NPC, his abilities are limited, but with his deep knowledge of the game and Sihu's powers as the main player, together they can make an incredible team. He believes they'll not only save countless people, but also prevent the destruction of this world, and ultimately, find a way back to Earth. 3 years have passed since that day, and now we see both our MCs sitting on top of numerous dead monster bodies. Sihu hands the NPC some kind of potion, and the NPC, a bit surprised, asks, "Wow, when did you get something like this?" While drinking, he thinks that everything is going great, except for one problem. Why is he only surrounded by guys? Originally, this game not only included fantasy and action, but also simulated romance with several attractive heroines. However, Sihu never pursued a relationship with any of the girls and only added them to the team when absolutely necessary. Before he realized it, the team had turned into all sausage group. The NPC wonders, even though these guys are skilled, but still, why did Sihu fill the team with all these sweaty dudes? Where are the girls? Our NPC began to suspect Sihu due to the recent string of accidents. The story was changing in unexpected ways, like when the granddaughter of the Grand Swordmaster was killed on her way to the Academy's entrance ceremony. Marie, who was supposed to be the final boss of the first stage, suddenly disappeared. Other strange incidents followed: sudden disappearances, unexplained deaths of many NPCs, and above all, Sihu's mindset, personality, and true nature seemed increasingly suspicious. By the time the NPC discovered what Sihu was hiding, it was already too late. In this scene, we can see that our NPC is truly terrified after discovering something. It's the staff of Marie Donneref, one of the heroines of the game. Marie had mysteriously disappeared before Sihu and the NPC could meet her, but after seeing her staff, the NPC wonders how it ended up here. He had only been following Sihu every night to see where he was going. To his shock, he discovers Sihu's underground inventory. As he looks around more, he finds another heroine's sword and several more items that belong to the heroines who had mysteriously died or disappeared. While searching further, his eyes are drawn to a hanging dead body of a girl. It was none other than Marie Donneref. As he stared in terror at her body, suddenly Sihu appeared behind him. He questioned the NPC, "What are you doing here?" The NPC, shocked, asked, "What the hell is all this? You said you lost Marie when you were chasing her." Sihu, with a dark expression, replied, "Don't worry, it's not like she was human. She was a demon, and it would be a waste of her precious, elite-class vampire blood if I just let her die. So I'm using her in the most efficient way. And don't act innocent. You drank her blood just as much as I did." Upon hearing this, the NPC felt uneasy and was about to throw up. Sihu started explaining that he saw no problem with it. Besides, it was really hard to catch her. She had been hiding in the forest for like 30 days. The NPC, furious, asked, "Why did you do this, you bastard?" Sihu, with a cold expression, replied, "To get through the story efficiently. The way you're playing takes too much energy and time. You suffer a lot just to save those worthless NPCs, and you don't even kill the annoying idiots who get in our way. You keep caring about those useless NPCs. This is the best way to utilize them." He then mocked the NPC, saying, "I'm more of a hardcore player than you are." Our NPC begins to recall the first day he met Sihu, realizing that Sihu had deceived him from the very beginning. He was never new to this game at all. The NPC, furious, demands Sihu to reveal how many people he has killed so far. With a psychotic grin, Sihu replies, "Just 3 more kills, and I'll hit the milestone of 100,000. This dude is pure psycho. In a fit of anger, the NPC grabs Sihu by the collar, his voice trembling with rage as he curses, "You monster! Why did you kill those innocent people?" Sihu, unfazed, smirks and replies coldly, "Calm down. They're just NPCs. Besides, haven't you killed plenty of them too?" The NPC glares at him, his grip tightening. "I only killed villains," he snaps. "They were the ones trying to destroy the world." With a burst of fury, he shoves Sihu backward and shouts, "Why did you take the Demon Slayer sword? That's meant for knights, and you're a mage. You can't even wield it. You said you wanted an elixir. You could have made one with your magic. So why did you kill her? You just wanted to satisfy your twisted urges, didn't you? You psycho!" Before the NPC can say more, Sihu's smirk vanishes, replaced by a flash of rage. Without warning, he throws a powerful punch, landing it squarely on the NPC's face. The force sends the NPC flying across the room, slamming him into a nearby glass cabinet. The cabinet shatters on impact, and the NPC crumples to the ground, blood trickling down his face as he struggles to stand. Sihu, staring down at the bleeding NPC, begins to speak, his voice trembling with a mixture of anger and desperation. "I can't believe you said that to me after everything I've done for you. You can't do this to me. You're the only one I ever think about, and I should be the only one you think about too. I should be your entire world." What the actual fuck? What did he just said? Huh? You're just an idiot who gets giddy around the girls and act tough, and from now on, Sihu will not hold back. What the fuck is he talking about? Don't tell me that... The NPC stumbles back, eyes wide with shock and disbelief. You... What? What the actual hell? This is so unlike your character. We've been together for only 199 chapters. You can't just suddenly decide to take a sharp turn like this. Sihu smirks, stepping forward with a calm yet unsettling demeanor. "I've come this far for you. I destroyed everything and everyone that stood in our way. It was all for our future." The NPC's voice trembles as he stares at Sihu, trying to process his words. "Wait, is that the reason why our party has only guys?" Sihu's smirk deepens, and his tone softens with a chilling sense of affection. "Don't worry about them. They're just eye candy. The one I truly love is you." As the words leave Sihu's mouth, the NPC's expression shifts from shock to fury. Without thinking, he throws a punch squarely at Sihu's face. For some reason, our NPC looks more worried and scared than before, I guess because his ass is on the line. "You're out of your mind," the NPC yells, his voice shaking. "I've never even been on a single date with a hot chick, and now you're scaring me with this insane crap. I can't deal with this kind of shit." Panic sets in as the NPC realizes just how unhinged Sihu is. Without a second thought, he turns and bolts, his only goal being to get as far away as possible. But before he can take more than a few steps, Sihu activates his magic. Runes glow around him, and in an instant, Magical bindings wrap around the NPC, freezing him in place. The NPC struggles desperately, his eyes wide with terror. "Let me go!" he screams, his voice cracking. "This isn't funny. Stop it! You're scaring the hell out of me!" Sihu tightens the magical bindings around the NPC, his voice cold and possessive. "You can't run away from me. I'll lock you up forever if I have to. You're mine and you only belong to me." Well, that's fucked up. I think it's time to say farewell to the NPC. The NPC's eyes widen in terror, his heart pounding as he struggles against the chains. "What the hell is wrong with you? This is insane. Let me go!" Sihu leans closer, his smirk dark and unsettling. "You don't understand, do you? You're the only one who's real in this world." The NPC freezes, his face twisting in confusion and fear. "What the fuck are you talking about, you psycho?" he shouts, his voice echoing with desperation. Sihu ignores the NPC's desperate shouts, his voice calm and resolute. "Just wait until the final battle ends. Then we'll be together forever." The scene shifts, and we find the NPC in a strange, surreal space, a dimension Sihu has created. A glowing pop-up appears before him, displaying a chilling message. The final stage will now begin. As the message fades, the NPC's memories come rushing back. In the game's storyline, Sihu defeats the final boss, and everything ends. Panic sets in as the NPC realizes what this means. He clenches his fists, bidding a grim farewell to his precious life. "Once this ends, what's going to happen to me?" But before he can process his thoughts, another pop-up suddenly appears. "Player has died. Challenge failed." The NPC freezes in shock, staring at the words with a mix of confusion and disbelief. He never anticipated this outcome. How? How did he lose? "Why are you disappointed, brother? You should be happy. You just got saved from a hardcore smacking." Then, in an instant, the scene shifts. The curtains billow softly in the breeze, sunlight streaming gently into the room. The NPC jolts awake, heavily huffing as he opens his eyes, his heart pounding in his chest. He looks around, disoriented, and quickly realizes something startling. He's 3 years back from where it all began. Clenching his fists tightly, a determined fire ignites within him. "This time," he mutters through gritted teeth, "I will kill Sihu, the main player of this game, and save this world." In the past, there was the tragic Ritian River flood incident. During their water monster subjugation quest, the dam near the village broke, sweeping the entire village away. Thousands of water monsters and villagers drowned in the disaster. Despite the horrifying scene, Sihu was completely unaffected. He stood there smiling like a monster, his expression twisted with satisfaction as he gained experience points from the chaos. At the time, the NPC was clueless and didn't understand why Sihu was smiling. But now, things are different. The NPC has sworn to stop that devilish Sihu no matter what. "I won't let that G-ass devil get away with it again because he doesn't want to get his ass smashed by a guy." Jokes aside, back to story. But this time, he knows exactly what he has to do. This is his only chance to change the future, a future filled with destruction, pain, and the twisted deeds of Sihu. If he doesn't act now, everything will stay the same, and countless lives will be lost. Sihu is currently nothing more than an ordinary 5th-tier player, no stronger than him. He hasn't yet become the unstoppable force of evil that will destroy everything in his path. The NPC knows that Sihu's transformation will begin the moment he steps into Merkava Academy, a place designed to mold players into heroes. But for Sihu, it will be the breeding ground for his unparalleled power and cruelty. The NPC's mind races with memories of the chaos that unfolded in his previous timeline. He can't let Sihu become that monster, not again. With only 5 days remaining until the Academy's entrance ceremony, he realizes this is the perfect time to strike. But that's not his only task. He also remembers the heroine, who dies tragically before she even has a chance to join the Academy. Her death was a turning point in the past, one that tipped the scales in Sihu's favor. This time, the NPC vows to save her, no matter the cost. As he sprints through the forest, determination etched on his face, his thoughts are a whirlwind of strategies and what-ifs. The wind rushes past him as he focuses on the goal ahead. In his haste, he spots a cluster of mushrooms growing on the side of the path. Without breaking stride, he snatches one, stuffing it into his pouch. Our NPC receives a tutorial quest with the following message. Quest: protect the carriage. The carriage heading to Merkava City has broken down in the middle of a monster-infested forest. Your task is to protect the carriage guards and passengers until the carriage is fully repaired. The scene shifts to the forest as night falls. A young man in armor stands next to a girl, who is praising Sihu for his impressive skills, despite him being just a rookie. Sihu smiles humbly and replies, "This is nothing." As they chat, an old man suddenly shouts from nearby, "The carriage is repaired! We should head back now!" The group starts making their way toward the carriage when they hear a deafening roar echo through the forest. Before they can react, a wooden plank comes hurtling out of nowhere. The armored man quickly pushes the girl aside, and they barely manage to dodge the flying debris. Drawing their swords, they prepare for battle as a massive, wolf-like creature emerges from the shadows. Its furious, glowing eyes fixate on them, its growl reverberating through the air. Unbeknownst to them, the NPC is also present in the scene, watching from a distance. He looks frustrated and disappointed, muttering under his breath, "I came as fast as I could, but I'm still too late. If only I had a little more time to prepare. Maybe I could have saved them all." The fight begins, and the monster launches a devastating attack. In one swift move, it strikes the girl with immense force. She is thrown backward, collapsing lifelessly on the ground. The armored man screams her name in anguish, but it's too late. She's already dead. He tells Sihu firmly, "Get in the carriage. I'll hold the monster off and buy some time for you to escape." Reluctantly, Sihu heads toward the carriage, shouting to the others, "Get going already! We'll catch up later." Inside, a worried girl leans out of the carriage and asks, "Aren't you coming with us?" Sihu shakes his head. "I can't leave my friend behind like this," he says, before turning back and rushing toward the fight. When Sihu arrives, he's met with a horrifying sight. The monster has already captured the armored man, gripping him tightly in its claws. Our NPC, hiding nearby, observes the scene with suspicion. His thoughts race. Is this really the protagonist destined to save the world? Or is this bastard another main player from Earth, like me? Sihu smirks and says, "This thing is huge," his tone almost excited. The monster roars and moves to attack Sihu, but before it can strike, a voice rings out from behind him. "Get down!" A young woman swings her sword at the monster, but it blocks her attack with its claws. She stumbles back, then steadies herself, glaring at the beast. "Stay back," she commands Sihu. "I'll take care of this." As she approaches the creature, Sihu's expression darkens, second eldest daughter of the House of Eden, the wielder of the Demon Slayer blade, one of the 6 supreme blades. She's a key figure in the story, crucial to the fate of the world. But Sihu's twisted grin returns. "I was so worried I might miss the chance to kill you," he mutters under his breath, pulling a poisoned knife from his belt. The girl glances back at him, confused, but before she can react, Sihu lunges forward, stabbing her in the back with the poisoned knife. The NPC watches the scene unfold, his blood boiling with rage. In that moment, all doubts vanish. There's no question now. This bastard, this monster, is Sihu, the player from Earth. Poor Arisha, confused and unable to comprehend the situation, looks at him with wide eyes and asks weakly, "Why? Why did you stab me?" She begins to feel dizzy, her vision blurring as the poison takes effect. Sihu, with a mischievous smile on his face, reveling in her suffering, replies mockingly, "Oops, my hand slipped." Before Arisha can process his words, the monster roars and lunges at her. She barely manages to raise her blade in time, deflecting the attack. Though she succeeds, her footing falters and she struggles to stay upright. Taking a deep breath, she steadies herself, calming her mind despite the poison coursing through her veins. "I need to take this monster down. I can't fail here," she thinks resolutely. Closing her eyes momentarily, she focuses her energy. When she opens them again, they shine with determination as she activates her skill. Shifting into a combat stance, she grips her blade tightly and prepares for a counterattack, ready to face the beast head-on despite the odds. From the side, Sihu watches Arisha intently, his expression growing uneasy. Why isn't the poison working properly, he thinks. At this rate, she might actually defeat the monster on her own. But luck isn't on her side, not with Sihu around. Determined not to let her succeed, he prepares to intervene. Gripping his poisonous knife, he hurls it toward her with deadly precision. Arisha, noticing the incoming blade, reacts quickly and blocks it with her sword. However, the distraction proves costly. As she turns to face Sihu, she hears a growl behind her. The monster is already upon her, its massive jaws inches away from crushing her head. Reacting on pure instinct, Arisha pivots and drives her sword directly into the monster's skull with all her remaining strength. The creature lets out a deafening roar before collapsing lifelessly to the ground. She collapses to the ground, gasping for air, her body trembling from exhaustion and the poison coursing through her veins. Sihu steps forward, his eyes gleaming as he reaches for her weapon. "Finally," he says, a twisted grin spreading across his face. "The Demon Slayer's sword is mine." Though he knows he can't properly wield the blade without relying on his magic, he doesn't care. "I'll figure that out later," he mutters, gripping the hilt tightly. "For now, I have unfinished business, earning some more experience points by killing NPCs." Lying on the ground, Arisha looks half dead, her strength drained. Sihu approaches her slowly, his devilish smile growing wider. "Time to end this," he whispers menacingly. But just as he's about to strike, a small bag comes flying out of nowhere, hitting Sihu square in the face. The bag bursts open, releasing a cloud of powder that makes him cough violently and struggle to breathe. "What the hell is this?" he shouts, his voice hoarse. Looking around, he yells, "Whoever's hiding, come out and face me like a man!" Before he can say more, 3 rabbit-like monsters leap out of the shadows, charging straight at him. "Stay back, you stupid mobs!" Sihu snarls. While Sihu was busy fighting the mobs, our NPC quietly grabs Arisha and drags her to safety. He's relieved that she's not dead yet. As he scans the area, he spots a knife lodged in the mouth of one of the monsters. When he reaches for it, a chill runs down his spine as he hears Sihu's voice. Sihu, holding his sword, asks, "Who are you?" NPC, impressed by Sihu's skill in taking down the mobs in less than a minute, clenches his fist. Holding the knife in his other hand, his expression deadly. Sihu asks, "Are you Korin Loke? And what are you doing here?" From now on, let's refer to the NPC by his name. Korin, now relieved, realizes that Sihu doesn't remember his past, which works to his advantage. "You should hold your sword properly," Korin says with a smirk. "You might hurt yourself otherwise." Sihu, distracted by the comment, gives Korin an opening. Korin charges quickly, throwing sand in Sihu's face, blinding him. Unable to see, Sihu swings his sword wildly, but his strikes are rapid and erratic. Korin sees the chance and dashes toward him with his knife, hoping to land a blow. Sihu barely dodges the attack, narrowly avoiding a fatal strike. Korin mocks him. "Afraid of getting a cut on your neck, huh? Keep your guard up." As Korin speaks, Sihu gets distracted once again, leaving him vulnerable. Korin attacks him right in front of his face, and he dodges again, but Korin's attack blocks Sihu's view. And seeing the opportunity, Korin quickly strikes from his left hand, catching Sihu by surprise. Korin stabs him in the shoulder. Sihu, terrified, braces himself as Korin prepares for the next attack. Korin strikes again, but Sihu tries to block it with his hand. The knife pierces his hand, making a hole. With the upper hand, Korin presses the knife down with both hands, and he successfully kills Sihu, the protagonist of this game. Korin thanks Sihu for helping him in his past life, acknowledging that it was because of Sihu that he grew stronger. He has no regrets about killing him. After Sihu's death, a window pops up saying, "Player deceased. This world needs a new hero." After extensive analysis, Korin is chosen as the next sub-hero. After the announcement, Korin wonders if he can now see the stat window, but suddenly he hears coughing sounds. When he turns around, he sees Arisha, whom he had completely forgotten about. He quickly grabs her and asks if she's okay. Arisha tries to speak, but her words are slurred. Korin is relieved that at least she can still talk. Without wasting any time, Korin asks about her condition, saying, "You're dizzy, you can't smell anything, and your ears feel like they're plugged, right?" Arisha asks him, "How did you know?" Judging by her condition and the way she is slurring her words, Korin suspects that this might be the effect of peacock frog poison. He thinks it's a good thing that the poison's concentration level wasn't too high, or Arisha would have been dead by now. Korin carefully removes her gear so he can stop the bleeding and neutralize the poison. Thankfully, he has experience dealing with situations like this. Before he starts, Korin wants to make sure Arisha doesn't accidentally bite her tongue in pain. He gives her Sihu's arm to bite down on and tells her, This might hurt a little, so bite down as hard as you need to. He then removes his shirt, pulls the fang out of her belly, and ties the shirt around the wound to stop the bleeding. Korin feels a sense of accomplishment, happy that he finally saved someone who had died in the past. It's exactly what he's always wanted to do: save people. As he works on making the antidote, he tells Arisha, "Hang in there for a little longer. Don't worry, I've heard that people don't die that easily." Arisha, weak but still conscious, tries to ask him for his name. You saved my life. What is your name?" Korin refuses to tell her his name and says, "Just relax. I'll wake you up once the antidote is ready." He thinks to himself that it's better if fewer people know about what he's planning to do. For now, he needs to analyze the situation. Korin starts analyzing his situation. As the game's title suggests, Heroic Legends of Arhan is a story about a hero. By solving various incidents that arise within the academy, the main player gradually becomes the hero who will save the world. One of the conditions of becoming a hero is to defeat various villains and eventually the final boss. The reason why even a monster like Sihu obediently went along with the story was that the entire world would be destroyed unless the main player defeats the final boss. But now that the bastard main player is dead, Korin is going to take his place as the new main character. However, Korin hasn't received any perks for becoming the new protagonist of the game. He looks pretty annoyed because he can't use any of the main character's special powers, even though he is now the sub-protagonist. He was excited to see his stat window, but every time he tries to access it, it's denied. Now, he can't rely on his memory of the future. To get stronger, he needs to use features outside the system. Korin begins to draw a magical symbol. After a moment, the symbol begins to glow. Despite being a total failure in arcane magic, the only type of magic Korin has learned in the past was runes. Runes are ancient letters that contain 3 magical powers: duty, restraint, and throth. These 3 are known as the runes of throth. This ancient magic holds extraordinary strength and the most powerful laws in the world, which can give immense power with or bring death if the laws are broken. With this, Korin starts engraving the 3 runes. He bites his finger and enchants the first rune, duty, on his left arm. This rune grants power to the caster when they uphold a promise made to themselves. He thinks of making a simple promise like not eating chicken, but this doesn't raise his stats significantly. He needs a promise that carries weight and can be repeated endlessly. So, Korin activates his first rune by saying, "I will not turn a blind eye to the misfortune of good people." With this, the first rune activates, binding his heart with a chain. If he fails to do his duty, he will face a 10-point penalty. Next, he activates his second rune, restraint, saying, "I do not perceive spirits." In this world, everyone has a third eye, and spiritual beings who lack a physical body, such as ghosts or nature spirits, exist everywhere. These spiritual beings can only interact when mutual perception is achieved. They cannot wield power against the unconscious, or those who do not possess the third eye. Breaking the restraint rune will result in 600% additional damage from all opponents. The penalty that prevented him from interacting with spiritual beings now becomes a shield, protecting him from spirits in the world. Finally, he activates the third rune, Oath. The weight of the oath functions as a backup system. This rune activates by taking an enormous risk. That's why neither Sihu nor Korin used the last rune in their past lives. But even Sihu, despite using everything in his past life, still failed to defeat the final boss. So now Korin doesn't have to think twice before activating this rune. With that, Korin activates the Rune of Oath and sets his goal: he will save the world. After saying this, the rune activates and binds his heart with a chain. The Rune of Oath is now connected to his other runes. If Korin fails to keep this oath, he will face the penalty of instant death. With this, all his runes are now connected. The scene shifts, and we see Arisha waking up, disoriented, wondering where she is. As she moves, a sharp pain in her belly reminds her of her injuries. A nurse standing nearby notices her stirring and asks, "How do you feel now?" Arisha looks around and asks, "Where am I?" The nurse replies, "You're in Merkava City Emergency Hospital." Arisha then asks about the person who brought her there. "He just left," the nurse responds. As Arisha attempts to get up, the nurse stops her, urging her to rest. Despite her protests, Arisha looks around for her gear. Her eyes land on her gear belt, stained with blood. Calling the nurse over, Arisha questions, "Is there a place nearby that sells honey bomb candies?" The nurse, flustered, snaps back, "You can't leave now. You need to rest." Meanwhile, the entrance ceremony for Merkava Academy is about to begin. Korin is checking through his belongings to ensure he has everything he needs when he discovers a letter he doesn't recall putting in his bag. Opening it, he reads a heartfelt message from Korin's parents. The letter expresses their pride in him, their hopes for his future, and their wish that he may one day join the ranks of the Great Guardians and become a mighty protector of the people. Korin pauses, his heart heavy with emotion. He wonders when they might have placed the letter there and reflects on the first day he woke up in this body. Adjusting to his new life had been challenging, but the unconditional love and support from his newfound parents made it bearable. Over time, he grew to love them. Smiling, he carefully folds the letter and puts it away. The scene shifts again to the grand hall of Merkava Academy. The sound of echoing footsteps and excited chatter fills the air as students gather for the entrance ceremony. Some appear nervous, while others brim with excitement. A strikingly beautiful woman with a thick, juicy with a charming presence calls for the first-year students to gather around. She stops in front of Korin and looks up at him, slightly surprised by his towering height. "Are you a first year too?" she asks with a smile. Startled, Korin quickly replies, "Yes, I am." The woman, amused, says, "You're quite tall. Make sure you eat plenty to keep up your strength." Korin, unsure how to respond, nods politely, slightly flustered by her directness. Now they are inside the carriage. Marie Dunaref, the same captivating figure, is pointing out various landmarks and sharing details about the surrounding places. Marie Dunaref, a second-year student at Merkava Academy, draws everyone's attention effortlessly. Her charm and elegance leave many blushing. As our MC observes her, he explains that she is not only beautiful, but also a first-tier mage with exceptional potential for a bright future. However, the MC reflects on how unpredictable life can be on Earth. Even someone as promising as Marie cannot escape her destined tragedy. She is revealed to be the abyss of despair and the final boss of the Academy's first chapter. As the carriage ride ends and the students prepare to leave, Marie cheerfully offers them sweet potatoes, suggesting they eat before heading out. Inside Merkava Academy, the scene is bustling with activity as students gather in large numbers, filling the air with a mix of excitement and nervousness. Meanwhile, our MC finds himself in a different building alongside other first years, preparing for the first test, a spell evaluation. Most students look visibly concerned and scared, except for one, our MC, who stands calm and composed. Suddenly, a commanding voice echoes through the hall. "Do not panic, you helpless rookies! You are now all students of Merkava Academy. How could you be so alarmed by such a trivial spell?" Recognizing the voice, the MC smirks. Being a hardcore gamer, he immediately remembers the speaker. It's the same old man, Harmon, following his usual routine. The MC reflects on how Harmon always acts like he's running a military training camp. In this world, humanity has fought against demons since the beginning of history. Those who wield auras and magic are the most effective fighters against these demonic forces. Merkava Academy serves as the training ground for these warriors. Suddenly, a figure emerges from the shadows, addressing the students with a warm greeting. It is Professor Fermac Daman, who will oversee their entrance ceremony. Seeing him, Korin smirks and thinks to himself, "It's been a long time since I've seen him." Professor mocks the students, saying, "I know all of you are here to become mages or knights, but I can't stand watching a bunch of losers. Show me what you've got." As soon as he finishes, a blue window appears in front of everyone, displaying their rankings. And as expected, being the NPC of this game, our MC's rank appears as the lowest, 6th tier. From the look on his face, it's clear that MC had already expected this. Then, the professor in black tells everyone to form a line according to their rankings. He wishes everyone luck with their tasks. Some of the teachers were observing the students, excited to see that among the 400 students, there were a few gems among them, the 2nd-tier students. Arisha Aiden, the granddaughter of a grand swordmaster. Duel, a druid of Avalorn Forest. Doron Warski, a mercenary of Agum. Ludun, a Golem Master, and the only first-tier student among the freshmen, the soaring fiend Hwarin. Thick. Damn. After seeing her, the spec's beauty looks really concerned. Why did the director let her in? What was he thinking? Sorry, Teach, I don't see any problem in her. This old man was thinking that it would be a waste of time to test 5th and 6th tier students, and that they should just be kicked out. Just as he was thinking that, suddenly, Speck's beauty appears behind him with a whip in hand, as if she knew exactly what he was thinking. Ready to smack his ass, she tells him to start the test already. With a snap of his fingers, the test begins. Everyone finds themselves in an empty space surrounded by portals. Suddenly, a weapon case appears in front of the MC. The announcement echoed, "In 30 seconds, the test will begin. Pick up your weapons and get ready." As the countdown reached the last few seconds, 3 to 4 seconds, most of the 5th and 6th tier students rushed to grab any weapon they could, though most would likely choose swords since Corrin had picked the same weapon in the past. When the countdown stopped, 3 5th tier wolves suddenly appeared in front of Corrin, ready to attack. As Corrin engaged them, he thought to himself, swords are cool, but they say it takes 100 days to master a spear, 1,000 days to master a blade, and 10,000 days to master a sword. That's why the best choice for him was a spear. With that decision, Corrin struck one of the wolves with his spear. The other wolf, terrified, froze in place, nearly pissing itself in fear. As the wolves rushed toward Corrin, he swiftly struck both of them down with his spear, sending them crashing to the ground. Smirking, Corrin said, "I've got loads of experience with you guys." It took Corrin just 12 seconds to kill these monsters, but in his previous life, he wasn't even capable of defeating these small hounds, and he had been eliminated in the first task. However, this time was different. He was determined to kill them and advance to the next level and check his abilities. He prepared himself for the next round and waited for several minutes, but nothing seemed to appear. He wondered, is the system broken? Why aren't there any other monsters? On the other side, all the 5th and 6th tier students were struggling to defeat even a single monster, screaming for help. The professor watched them with disappointment. These students couldn't even handle low-level monsters. Back in his day, he had killed the 5th tier hounds in just 1 minute and 22 seconds. He thought that if all 5th and 6th tier students were like this, there was no point in watching them. Suddenly, his eyes went to Corrin, who appeared completely relaxed, casually yawning. The professor was shocked. What is he doing? He thought. This must be some kind of bug. In frustration, the professor summoned 3 more hounds. Corrin, watching the hounds appear, thought, why are these stupid hounds here again? Why isn't any higher-level monster appearing? The professor, seeing the other 5th and 6th tier students struggling, sighed in disappointment. The professor thinks that 3rd and 4th tier students only take 2 to 3 minutes to complete the first task. He wonders what the 5th and 6th tier students are doing. When he turns to look, he is surprised to find Corrin just chilling again. He wonders why the monsters aren't being summoned. The professor turned to his superior and said, "This device must be broken since the monsters aren't summoning. Otherwise, someone like him should have been eliminated by now." His superior responded, "There's no way it's broken. Madame Josephine's magic has never failed in 20 years. The superior then asked, "Did you see the monsters not coming?" The professor replied, "Is there any need for me to watch someone like him?" The superior, irritated, told the professor to summon the monsters again. Corrin, now frustrated, looked at the same monsters appearing once more. So he strikes them all at once with 3 spears, and they get wiped out in just 7 seconds. Both professors are shocked to see the kill time. They ask a nearby professor what the fastest killing record is for 3rd and 4th tier students. He replies that there's a kid named Yeager and his record is 3 minutes and 30 seconds. The professor asks, "Why do you ask?" To which the other replies, "Nothing much." After seeing the MC use the spear so effectively, the professor thinks he must be a hunter's son. He then summons a 4th tier monster, and to his surprise, our MC defeats it in just 3.7 seconds. Shocked, the professor summons a 3rd tier monster, ensuring that this won't be easy. After seeing the new level of monster, MC gets excited and strikes it on its right side belly. The monster strikes back at the MC, but he dodges it. Then, he activates his Kinaz rune magic. In the spectator's room, every professor is shocked to hear rune magic. After using the magic, it seems to have little effect on the monster. MC quickly jumps and strikes it from above. Seeing the fight, the professor thinks, this kid is not just a mere 6th-tier student. Both professors are surprised and excited as they prepare to summon a 5th-tier evil spirit. However, the spirit is summoned, but MC can't see or hear it due to his magic restraint, which blocks his interaction with spirits, souls, and ghosts. This means he can't fight the spirit, and the spirit's attacks can't affect him either. He waited for a few minutes, but nothing happened. After this, MC decides to withdraw, and with that, the test is over, setting new records. MC thanks the professor for the test, though the professor is still shocked by his performance. Outside in the hallway, all the students are gathered, discussing their ranks. MC spots a guy standing proudly after receiving his results. His name is Yeager Hinchpeter. MC remembers him from the past when he picked a fight with a student, but Sihu got pissed and killed him. Whoa, Sihu sure was a cruel gay. As he continues thinking, he notices some of the guys making fun of the Specs guy and others because of their ranks. Then the director greets everyone, taking their attention. He announces, in order to become strong, you have entered this academy where the strong gather. Some have enough, while others still have a long way to go. Although I cannot guarantee that you will get what you want at the end of your time here, I hope you'll be able to find your own path in this place. We are merely here to help you take the correct first step. Starting from the second step, it's your responsibility, that's all. Thank you. In the hallway, we see Yeager, who is proud of being the 3rd-rank knight. He notices a boy sitting and reading books. Suddenly, he walks over to the Specs guy and asks him about his rank. The Specs guy replies, 5th rank. Yeager starts making fun of him, calling him pathetic for not even being able to kill the small hounds. MC sees this and walks over to them. He greets them by placing his hand on the blonde guy's shoulder. The blonde guy asks, who are you? MC replies, I like your tattoo on your back. It's really cool. The blonde guy quickly smiles, saying, you sure know how to make me happy. He tells MC that the tattoo was made by his mom, who is a tattoo artist. MC, surprised, says, your mom is awesome. Do you have any other tattoos? But MC already knows about him and his mother. She is a tattoo artist. In the past, when Yeager, the blonde guy, went missing, his mother came to the academy looking for him. She explained that the tattoo she made on his son was no ordinary tattoo. It had a special meaning that allowed her to know about her son's well-being. In the present, Yeager is showing every single tattoo on his body to MC, explaining each one. MC compliments him further and then introduces himself, saying, I'm Corin, what's your name? Bloaty replies, Yeager. Then MC turns to the guy with glasses and asks, 4 Eyes, what's your name? He replies, Lark. We see Arisha observing them from afar. Arisha is really impressed by MC's clean performance earlier. She thinks to herself, he looks like a good person. Meanwhile, MC is pleased that he made a good first impression on the 4-eyed guy, as his memorization ability will be helpful in the future. Smirking devilishly, he thinks to himself, I found my free skills book. As MC laughs to himself in his happiness, Arisha blushes after seeing his smile. She thinks, even his smile is cute, and wonders, what kind of person is he? Most of the facilities at the Merkava Academy are provided free of charge. The cafeterias offer affordable meals, and the dormitories are provided without any cost to the students. However, the most important facility for the academy is the training room. In the training room, even impossible feats become achievable through relentless practice. Our MC is currently engaged in combat with a spirit body. These spirit bodies are invisible to him due to his rune magic. While he's practicing, a group of nearby students starts murmuring among themselves. They note that most students only begin fighting spirit bodies in their 2nd year, and even then, many struggle to handle a mere wind spirit. Seeing that the MC is only a 1st-year student, they begin mocking him. As the murmurs grow, Marie, a passing student, takes notice of the MC. She seems quite intrigued by him. While the students watch and laugh at the MC's efforts, he suddenly gets hit by the spirit body and falls. Their laughter grows louder, but the MC remains unfazed. He thinks to himself, this is exactly why I need to train harder. Just then, the instructor approaches him. The older man asks, why are you training against a spirit body? To improve my spear skills, the MC replies firmly. The instructor raises an eyebrow. Are you sure you can defeat a spirit body? Yes, I will, the MC responds without hesitation, though he wonders why the instructor is suddenly here. Did I do something wrong, he thinks? The instructor glances at him and then smiles. Good. Here, take these meal tickets, he says, handing over a few. Let me know when you defeat the spirit body. I'd be happy to praise you. The MC, startled, realizes he had been nervous for no reason. Why was he here, though? What's his real purpose? Pushing the thoughts aside, the MC resumes his practice. Marie continues to watch him silently. As he trains, the spirit body lands another hit, and the MC collapses, exhausted. Suddenly, a towel falls onto his face. Startled, he looks up to see Marie standing there. Is it hard? She asks gently. It's exhausting, he admits. Marie offers him a glass of water. You just need to get the hang of it. Keep trying, and one day you'll defeat it, she says with a soft smile. The MC takes the glass, but his response is unexpected. There's no next time for me, he mutters. His thoughts drift back to 3 years ago when he had fought alongside Sihu. Back then, he had the help of the stat window and potions. But now, Sihu is gone, killed by his own hands, and he has to do everything on his own. Is he missing Sihu? The MC thanks Marie for the water, stands up, and feels a surge of motivation. I must become the strongest, he resolves. But first, I need to test my limits. With renewed determination, he starts unleashing a series of varied attacks against the spirit body. As he strikes, he reflects. My knowledge about the future is meaningless against enemies and geniuses if I'm weak. I don't have a strong body or powerful magic, so I have to work harder than anyone else to grow stronger. He strikes the spirit once more, then throws his spear directly at it. Watching from the sidelines, Marie furrows her brow in confusion. Why is he throwing the spear? Is he giving up? But then, as the MC catches the spear midair, she instantly realizes his intention. He had thrown the spear only to gain momentum for an even stronger strike. The MC charges forward and delivers a devastating blow to the spirit body. Marie is left mesmerized. Words like strong or outstanding don't suit him, she thinks. He is truly awesome. Her admiration is cut short as the MC is suddenly sent flying by the spirit's counterattack, landing hard on the ground and unable to move. Marie rushes to him and asks, Junior, are you okay? The MC, wincing, thinks, this is too much for my current body. I have to grow stronger. The next day, Marie, full of energy and charm, is greeting the new students, including the MC. She's assigned to show them around the academy facilities. Meanwhile, the MC is eating a potato that Marie had handed him earlier. As he eats, he thinks, is she just going to keep giving me potatoes? When am I going to get something juicy to eat? He glances at Marie and sighs. If I want something better, I need to win her over quickly. Otherwise, I'll be eating potatoes for the rest of my life. I want something juicy. As his thoughts wander, he notices a spectacled boy nearby, engrossed in a book. The MC recalls the deal he made with his rune. I will not turn a blind eye to the misfortunes of good people. Now that Sihu and his elixirs are gone, the MC has to rely on himself to get stronger. He suddenly grabs the spectacled boy by the neck and says, Let's eat lunch together. Leaning closer to the boy's ear, he whispers, I'd like to have a little chat about grimoires and stuff. The spectacled boy looks surprised but intrigued. You all know about grimoires, right? If not, let me tell you briefly. These are magical books that allow you to learn spells and grow stronger. The scene shifts to the Academy's vast library, a treasure trove of knowledge. It contains information about nearly everything one could wish to learn. As the MC and the spectacled boy search through the shelves, the MC recalls a specific hidden grimoire from his past life. You can have the grimoire with spells, as promised, the MC says to the spectacled boy while searching. The MC reflects on the boy's abilities. In my past life, he was amazing at memorizing spells. He stored all kinds of magic in his spellbook. If I help him now, he'll be a valuable ally in the future. While searching for the book, the MC thinks, despite the number of spells he has stored, it would have been difficult for him to actually use all of them. If a mage's abilities and mana level are low, no amount of theoretical knowledge can guarantee success in reality, unless they have a grimoire. As he pulls a book from the shelf, the MC murmurs, "Open, Seisami." The spectacled boy turns around just in time to see the book slip from the MC's hands. To his surprise, the secret door behind the bookshelf opens with a creak. Quickly, MC steps inside, putting both hands on his waist in a confident pose. "Wait for me!" the spectacled boy shouts, hurrying after him. Inside the chamber, the boy looks around nervously, clearly frightened by the eerie atmosphere. Meanwhile, the MC stands relaxed, completely at ease. "Specs," MC calls out, a grin on his face. "It's time for you to fulfill your promise." The spectacled boy hesitates but eventually shakes the MC's hand. "As promised, I'll help you get rid of the evil spirit here." "But what do I need to do?" the nerd asked. The MC's grin grows wider, now taking on a sinister edge. Before the spectacled boy can react, MC punches him square in the face, knocking him unconscious. As the boy falls to the ground, the MC smiles wickedly and says, "Now we can get started." In the next chapter, MC is seen sitting next to the unconscious spectacled boy. One of the reasons he's here is to help the boy and clear the special quest. If MC defeats the demonic spirit who resides here, he can obtain a hidden piece he desires. Unfortunately for him, the demonic spirit is none other than Sabancia Duke Special Tier Spirit. This quest is designed to be unbeatable. MC reflects, defeating him is nearly impossible. Sabancia was once the ruler of the South 800 years ago, and his attacks are enough to kill most players the moment the quest starts. But of course, that doesn't apply to the MC, thanks to his rune magic, which prevents him from interacting with spirits. His attacks won't work on me, the MC thinks confidently. As the spirit attacks, MC feels something odd, a strange tickling sensation on his body. What's this feeling, he wonders, perplexed. The spirit, seeing the MC unharmed, is shocked. MC then tells the spirit, "Get inside this boy's body so we can have a face-to-face manly talk." In this world, some people are born with trait marks. These marks are inborn traits that can transform an ordinary person into a vampire or werewolf. Because of such a mark, Commander Sabancia Duke suddenly turned into a vampire and attacked his servant. He desperately tried to control his thirst for blood, but all his attempts failed. Fearing that he might harm his family as well, he sent them and the rest of his servants away, blocking all the passageways of his castle. In the end, to ensure that he wouldn't harm anyone else, he used a grimoire to seal himself away. When the spirit entered the nerd's body, an immense aura began to flow around him. He quickly rushed toward the MC to attack, but MC already knew the outcome. That's why he had chosen the nerd to accompany him. Spirits can only wield the physical capabilities of the body they possess, and out of all the characters in this game, the nerd had the lowest physical strength stats. MC swiftly punched the nerd on the head, knocking him to the ground. He felt a little guilty doing this to the nerd, but this was the best way to clear the quest. Now, all he had to do was kill Lark, who was possessed, and obtain the Duke's cape, vampire armor, and all the top-tier items. In the past, these items had been Sihu's favorites and had helped him greatly in future events. But the MC wasn't like him. "Man, why am I missing that G-ass psycho?" he thought to himself. MC then told the spirit, "You must be curious about your family." Upon hearing this, the spirit was stunned. The MC continued, "I'll tell you everything I know about your family." He shared many stories with the Duke. MC told him about his wife, how she lived and died after leaving the castle. He also spoke of his daughter, how she became an amazing adventurer and roamed all over the world. He shared everything he knew about the Duke's family, as he didn't want to take the same approach Sihu had. MC just wanted the poor spirit to have a peaceful and proper ending. After hearing about his family, the spirit apologized to the MC for attacking him earlier. The MC reassured him, "Don't worry, even if you had hit me, it wouldn't have made any difference, like a mosquito bite." They talked until it was time for the spirit to pass into the afterlife. Afterward, MC received a few items, soul dust and 2 grimoires, one containing traits and the other containing spells. MC takes the trait, and after using it, he receives a skill called Determined Warrior's Regeneration, which allows him to heal endlessly until the flame of determination burns within his heart. This was once Sihu's trait, though the MC never got to see how fast it healed because that slimeball Sihu never got hurt. Moments later, the nerd wakes up, placing his hand on his face. MC tells him to rest because he had been possessed by the demonic spirit. The nerd, still confused, asks, "Why does my jaw hurt this bad?" MC quickly brushes it off, saying it's probably because he was possessed, and this must be a side effect. He then hands over the spell grimoire to the nerd, just as promised. The nerd is surprised. MC had chosen him to come along because he wanted to see hardworking people like him get rewarded every once in a while. The nerd is thrilled to receive the grimoire as it means so much to him. Because the MC didn't turn a blind eye to the misfortune of good people, his spells activate, and he receives a notification. Duty completed. The MC gains a total of 80 points in return. MC is both surprised and confused by the 80 points. Typically, 5 stat points are given each time you level up, which means he would have needed to level up 16 times to receive that many points. He didn't get any leveling up notification though. He thinks, maybe the game is helping me by giving me extra points since I can't choose which stat to level up. But still, it's a bit strange. Rune of Duty. I will not turn a blind eye to the misfortune of good people. The MC received 40 points for helping Lark the nerd and another 40 points for helping Sabancia Duke. The scene shifts to the training room where Marie is handing out potatoes to eat. Everyone is asking for more potatoes, and when Marie hears this, she gets happy. She then approaches the MC and asks if he's going to practice against the spirit again. The MC replies, "Yes, indeed." She wishes him good luck with a heavenly smile, one so captivating it could make anyone jealous. Damn, I'm feeling jealous while writing this script. Who said I'm single? Well, maybe I... Anyway, back to the story. Then they start making fun of the MC, saying there's no way he can defeat a spirit body, and that Marie is cheering for the wrong person. Marie, being the smart one, bet 2 gold coins on the MC. After hearing this, everyone started betting. MC, unpleasant by their attention, thought to himself that he was here just for practice. Why was everyone making such a fuss? He began to focus, thinking that after gaining new stats from completing the recent quest, he should be strong enough to defeat the spirit. He wanted to check just how much stronger he had become. He initiated the fight with a basic attack, believing it to be the most basic form of attack, and that it probably wouldn't leave a scratch on the spirit. But to his surprise, this single attack destroyed the spirit's entire body. Everyone in the room, including the MC, was left stunned. He couldn't believe that he had destroyed the spirit's body with just one basic attack. Marie congratulated the MC for defeating the spirit, pointing out that just yesterday it had taken him 3 stabs to create a shockwave, yet now he had defeated the spirit with a single blow. The MC, lost in thought, wondered, was this hot beauty watching everything yesterday? More importantly, how could a mage track my attack movements? It's like her eyesight is on a completely different level. As he was thinking, Marie handed him half of the money she had won by betting on him, saying, "You earned me quite a lot." Mac asked her, "Is this my share?" with a questioning tone. Marie then asked, "Are you a saint who hates gambling?" Mac responded, "Who hates money when it's coming for free?" He laughed along with Marie, but in his thoughts, he couldn't help but think, man, she's hot and smart. I can't wait to taste. What is he about to taste? As night fell, our MC sat somewhere, seemingly mad because he had been tricked by her. Instead of getting a taste of her cake, she gave him potatoes. Now he was munching on the potatoes as if they were her homemade cake. Yes, homemade cake? What did you think I was talking about? He recalled that in his past life he had devoted himself to martial arts in order to survive. Even now, he could only perform 5 out of the 6 ultimate spear techniques. He still had a long way to go. However, he was improving faster than he had expected. The only problem was his rune magic. He couldn't use some of the magic spells due to his low mana. In his previous life, he had faced the same issue, which he never got the chance to solve. Rune magic took up a lot of mana, and only if he found a way to manage this issue would he become stronger than before. While munching on the potatoes, he thought to himself, he needs to find a way. Suddenly, someone calls out to him saying, "You!" MC instantly recognizes her voice. He thinks to himself that no matter how skilled he becomes with rune magic or spears, there is one person in the academy he can never defeat. Even Sihu, who was strong enough to take on many, couldn't defeat her, the most powerful NPC in the game. She's none other than the rocket destroyer, perfect face, perfect eyes, perfect toes, perfect thighs, perfect curves, perfect size. God, take me to heaven, my life is done. But wait, she's a nun. Her name is Hwarin. Back to the story. The MC feels a sense of dread. He wonders what she's doing here and why she's suddenly speaking to him. He knows she's not someone he can handle. As he prepares to walk away, she suddenly says, "You're combined, aren't you?" With a deadly glare, she continues, "That body doesn't belong to you, does it?" The MC's eyes widen in fear as he thinks, does she know I'm not from this world? Shocked MC thinks that Hwarin is a paradoxical being, a living corpse containing both a human soul and the soul of a demonic beast. It's said that those teetering on the edge of life and death possess the ability to perceive the colors of a soul. Naturally, she recognizes my true identity. Hwarin asked him how it feels to devour the soul of a body that isn't yours. Mac replies, "I don't know." In his thoughts, this question bothered me in my previous life. Are Korin Loke and I a different person? Or are Korin Loke's memories actually my own? Then who was I back on Earth? The one who followed the path through an all-boys school, a sports college, and the military? It was all meaningless. Even in death, I couldn't confirm the existence of the real me. But Hwarin's case is different. Her body genuinely belongs to someone else, leaving no room for doubt. Hwarin says, "No matter what you say, that body doesn't belong to you. You're not the owner. You're just a thief." The MC remains calm. Then, he tells her a story about someone from where he comes from, a guy who turns into a green giant whenever he gets mad. "His name is Mr. Bruce. Ever hear of him?" She responds, "What the fuck are you talking about, bitch?" MC continues, "The funny thing is, his two personalities despise each other. But that's what made it interesting, the way they excelled in different areas. What I'm trying to say is, whether you're the original soul or a newly formed one, coexistence is possible, even with your differences. Like it or not, you share the same body, and being born, regardless of the circumstances, is never a crime." Hwarin, somewhat puzzled by his answer, hesitates, then says, "It is for some beings." Our MC seems to understand what's causing her so much trouble, but for now, all he can do is... He walks away while bidding farewell. Hwarin stays silent. The next morning, our MC is heading to the southern part of the academy to complete some quests. This helps in leveling up before the main quest and is a mandatory step for progress in the game. But for now, leveling up is not the primary goal for the MC. He is here to test something. As he looks at the quest board, he suddenly notices someone appear beside him. It's Arisha. He thinks, why is she staring at the board like that? In his previous life, the MC didn't get to know her well because she was killed by Sihu before she could join the academy. She might have been a different version of Arisha than this one. The MC calls her name, and she quickly replies with a hello. He asks her, "Are you planning to take on a mission during your first weekend here? I didn't expect you to feel the need to prove yourself so much, especially being a second tier." Arisha replies, "Because I need to make money." The MC responds, "Huh? Doesn't the academy cover living expenses for second tiers?" Arisha says, "Not for me because my parents are well off, so I don't qualify. It's kind of like a student aid program. If you come from a rich family, you don't get a penny." Arisha continues, "My family values independence, so I have to earn everything on my own. I begged them over and over for help, but they wouldn't budge." The MC thinks, looks like she's really in a tough spot. He tells her, "If you're in a rush to make money, why not take the patrol quest? It's not that difficult and they pay quite well." Arisha's face lights up after hearing this. The quest requires 3 people to sign up, and she invites the MC, but he rejects the offer because he has something else to do first. He takes a cat mission quest because, with this quest, he can increase his stats. If he can save the cat from being eaten by the water-type Pokemon, he can prevent the girl from getting heartbroken, and by doing so, he can also activate his Rune of Troth duty. After rescuing the cat, he hands it over to the girl, and suddenly, a notification pops up saying, "Duty completed," and that 5 points are equally distributed across all the stats. Everything went as he thought. He thinks that now even the most trivial jobs will give his abilities a boost and starts laughing like a psycho. The girl gets scared and runs for her life. He continues taking more jobs like this, shouting points after completing each task with a nasty smile on his face. While doing these quests, he remembers a quest he had forgotten to do. The scene shifts to a shop with a chicken and a mustache logo. In the shop, there's an old man who seems really frustrated by something. He slams his hand on the table, breaking it in half. The old man is angry because he's trying to make a chicken that will be delicious even when it's cold, but nothing seems to work. His sauces are not good enough. His eyes shift to the front door where the MC is standing in a heroic pose with a corny smile. The MC tells him, "You're doing it wrong. Just add corn syrup." After saying this, he bids farewell to the old man. The old man looks visibly irritated, thinking, "Who is this weirdo?" He had tried everything, and what difference could this simple ingredient make? Outside the shop, Mac is proud of himself, thinking that the old man can't stop moaning after tasting the flavor of the sauce. Mac thinks, "As a former Korean, I can't live in a world without seasoned spicy chicken. I did this only for my benefit." Then a notification pops up saying, "You have completed your duty." Mac is shocked that this simple task triggered the rune of troth duty. Maybe this old man is also a good person. Even though he did it for himself, seeing this makes him laugh uncontrollably like a crazy person. From afar, someone is watching our MC. It's none other than Hwarin. She thinks that the MC is really strange. Strange? Nah, crazy miss. As she was observing the MC, Hwarin sensed someone behind her. It's Batty. She is here to tell Hwarin that you shouldn't be simping over someone as crazy as him, and please ask me first if you're going out to stalk him. Hwarin just turns around, leaving her confused. The reason Hwarin is stalking him is because of what the MC had said to her earlier. She recalls the memory where a guy is telling her to die and that she should never have been born. She stands still while holding a book titled 100 Ways to Stalk Someone Without Even Letting Them Know. The scene shifts to the training ground where the instructor announces, "Today you'll be doing a survival skills test in the training ground. Reach the cabin at the northern end of the woods and hand in the armbands you've collected from others. Your points will be based on the number and quality of your armbands. You can exchange items for the bands you collect." After the announcement, the MC looks for Hwarin but doesn't find her. Just as he thought, she never participates in practical assignments like these. Someone calls his name. It's Arisha, thanking him for his help with the quest. The MC responds, "I'm glad I could help," and offers Arisha a candy. Arisha looks really cute. At that moment, the instructor casts a spell and teleports everyone to different locations. Once the MC is teleported, he hears the sound of fighting nearby. The Hunting Ground Challenge is an important event that a hardcore gamer like the MC has to play over and over again. It's a battle where everyone is teleported to random locations and must collect armbands by defeating other students. MC sneaks out thinking, "Keep fighting, jerks. You guys are not my primary targets." He activates a magic spell, and his finger starts glowing. The MC's goal is the blue armband that Arisha holds. It seems that the magic is tracking Arisha's location. He laughs to himself and thinks, "How naive. She didn't even realize that the candy I gave her was enchanted with tracking magic. It's going to help us reunite." Without Hwarin, Arisha is the only tough one there. As long as he takes care of her, the rest will be easy pickings. He rushes towards Arisha, sticking his tongue out like one of those ugly bastards. Looks like he's lost his mind. The scene shifts to the teachers, where the instructor says, "I should head to the woods too. I'll make sure that—" She pauses as she realizes Hwarin isn't with them. She asks the director about it, and the director tells her, "She came to me and asked to join the test as well." The instructor is shocked and thinks, what made her change her mind? Meanwhile, she's just behind the MC who was singing his victory song just a moment ago. "Arisha, what's wrong with all of you? You should be ashamed of yourselves. Ganging up on me like this isn't fair." The guy on the says, "No, what's not fair is your ludicrous talent." Suddenly, one of the guys lunges at Arisha in a sneak attack. Before she can react, a rock flies out of nowhere, striking the guy in the stomach and knocking him back. Arisha, confused, glances around to find out where the rock came from. Her expression softens as she spots the MC standing nearby, and she begins to feel relieved, assuming he came to help her. Just as she's about to thank him, MC said, "Arisha, how beautiful that blue armband looks on you." Arisha freezes. Realizing his intentions, she quickly dodges another attack and yells out, "I trusted you! I thought you were a good guy!" Arisha is a second-tier knight who relies purely on her exceptional physical abilities. She probably hasn't unlocked her special trait, the watching eye, yet. While her combat abilities are considered average among other second-tier knights, her raw strength and technique make her formidable. Though she isn't on the same level as her older sister, a true prodigy, Arisha is still ranked among the top 1% of her peers. Despite this, MC confronts her confidently. MC, you could still prove to be a good person, Arisha. Just hand over your armband. Arisha smirks, unconcerned. Moments ago, she had easily defeated a team of 7 third and fourth tier students without breaking a sweat. She doesn't even consider the possibility of losing to MC, a supposed 5th tier knight. The fight begins. As their weapons clash, MC throws several attacks. Arisha's expression shifts from confidence to shock. Her thoughts race. How is he this strong? I can barely keep up with him. She observes his technique, searching for a weakness. There's a slight change in his pace between thrusting and slashing. If I time it right, I can exploit that interval and… Before she can act, MC grins and interrupts her train of thought. MC, looks like you've relied too much on your talent and not enough on practice. Let me show you something simple. He said, first, slide your opponent's weapon away from your body. Then, push down on their weapon, creating an opening. Finally, stab in a straight line. The combination of these fundamental moves forms a flawless counterattack. With incredible precision, MC executes the technique, striking Arisha and sending her flying backward. She lands on her knees, coughing, and thinks, if I hadn't blocked that attack with my aura, I'd be down for sure. Her thoughts continue as she glares at him. What he lacks in strength and speed, he makes up for in the pure perfection of his skills. Who is this guy? There's no way he's just a 5th tier knight. MC smirks as he approaches her, towering over her defeated form. MC, looks like you know who's the daddy here. With that, he takes her blue armband. Arisha's expression shifts to one of anger and disappointment as MC begins to leave. Suddenly, the ground shakes, and a sword flies through the air toward MC. He blocks it, but the force of the blow surprises him. MC's thoughts. Unbelievably heavy. This is a demonic blade made from layered steel, 4 times denser than regular steel. There's only one person who wields a weapon like this. A voice calls out from above, Silverhead. Impressive. I didn't think you could block my sword. You've got some skill, but I'll give you one chance. Hand over the armband peacefully. MC's expression hardens as he identifies the newcomer. Silverhead lands surrounded by the unconscious bodies of other defeated knights. This person is clearly in a completely different league. MC's thoughts, I didn't want to run into him. There's no point in fighting, I need to get out of here. Clutching the blue armband in his mouth, MC takes off at full speed. Silverhead watches him with a confused expression until his eyes fall on the blue armband. His gaze sharpens. Silverhead. That armband. It's the highest scoring one. So that's what this is about. He moves to pursue, launching another attack. MC's thoughts. What the hell is up with this guy? He usually doesn't lift a finger unless there's money involved. As MC sprints through the forest, clutching the blue armband, Arisha suddenly appears behind him, running alongside. And why the heck are you following me? Meek said Arisha. I don't know the way out, and I don't want to get hurt either. MC mutters to himself. Well, at least there's no need to engage in direct combat with him. All I have to do is get this armband to the… Before he can finish, he comes to an abrupt halt. Standing in front of the cabin where the armbands are submitted is a tall figure with orange hair and a massive golem by his side. Orangehead. Apologies, and said if you want to get past me, you'll have to hand over that armband. MC grimaces. MC, things just keep getting worse. There's Cranel in front of me, and Duran chasing from behind. I tried to avoid a fight, only to get trapped between these two of all people. He scratches the back of his neck. MC, looks like I really have no choice this time. Arisha's eyes widen as MC prepares to fight. Arisha, is he really going to fight both of them at the same time? 2 of the best students here? MC grips his weapon tightly. If this is a fight I can't avoid then I have no choice but to give it my all. The scene shifts. Someone knocks on a door. The door creaks open to reveal MC Korin Loke casually entering the cabin to claim his reward. His expression is smug, and he looks completely unharmed. The scene cuts back to the battlefield. Crenel lies defeated on the ground, his golem smashed and deactivated. Doron is sprawled out nearby, his sword scattered across the field. Arisha stands frozen, overwhelmed by what she's just witnessed. Arisha. He stabbed the magic sword's core before it reached its maximum power and thrust it deep into the ground so it couldn't be pulled out by telekinesis. For the swords he couldn't block, he dodged or redirected them with the smallest movements, subtly guiding them toward the golem instead. Then he darted behind Doron's back and used him as a shield against the golem's attacks. By forcing Doron to fight the golem, he created an opportunity to attack the golem's core and neutralize it. Then he finished off Crenel right after that. Her eyes shine with admiration. Arisha. His nimble reflexes, quick judgment, brilliant psychological tactics, the way he defeated his opponents so effortlessly, as if he'd fought in dozens of battles before, the way he wielded his spear and turned his weaknesses into strengths, he reminded me of my older sister. MC, looking smug, mocks his defeated opponents. MC. You relied too much on your talent and didn't practice enough. Arisha clenches her fists. Arisha. From now on, I'm going to try a little harder. Silverhead watches from a distance, still stunned. Silverhead. He defeated me before I could even do a thing. Who exactly is he? And how did he seem to already know everything about my weapons and special traits? MC approaches Cranel, who groans weakly. MC. Golems are basically nothing but huge target boards for small, powerful opponents. If I were you, the first thing I'd do is find a friend to help defend both yourself and the golem. Crenel looks helpless. Crenel. I don't have any friends. MC scratches his head. MC. Well, good luck with that. He leaves Crenel lying on the ground, defeated. Crenel. Cruel bastard. The scene shifts again. The strongest one left among the first years was Duel, the druid blessed by the forest. Unfortunately for her, it wasn't just first-year students in the hunting grounds. A second-year student forms a massive water ball in midair. The water ball slams into a tree, sending Duel trembling in fear. Marie approaches the trembling Duel with a confident smile. Marie, you must be the first-year druid. I'm Marie, and you are? Girl hesitates, then replied, Duel. Marie senses something and glances around. Marie. And what's your name? Someone steps out from the shadows. Oh boy, things are about to get crazy. Well, that's it for today's video. Make sure to subscribe to Senpai Respawn. Bye!